to Tech 101, your essential guide to understanding the technology shaping our world, translating complex innovation into practical knowledge you can use with confidence. With
Mm,
confidence, Miss Jackie.
yes, that's important.
Welcome, Miss Jackie. And how are you, partner? Happy Valentine's.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day.
For everyone, people, happy Valentine's. I hope you're enjoying this day and wish you all the best. So, Miss Jackie, what will be our topic for today on Tech 101?
Yes, today's topic is called Early Computers When Machines Filled the Rooms. So imagine your laptop, but it's the size of a classroom and less powerful than a calculator.
I imagine, partner. I imagine it's so big and huge. Now they are getting smaller and smaller and smaller like a dust.
hmm Yep.
And I think we need that. Smaller like a dust.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I agree. Yep.
You can
They
carry
can
everywhere, even the universe,
everywhere.
outside the universe.
Right, you can.
Multiverse.
Yes.
Hmm. So, what do you think? What are the machines, Miss Jackie, that is so big and now they are small?
Right. So if we can think back to even those that maybe weren't born at this time, but maybe they can go back and do some research. What used to be where computers filled a whole entire room, right? Those were called the
True. My God.
transistors, right? Then we moved
Mainframe.
in, yeah, the mainframes, and that you had to like walk in between them, and they were almost as tall as me. I think probably taller, but they were huge, and they took up a lot of power, a lot of energy to be able to power those up. And then even the computers, they were big, bulky, right? And stuff. I remember how bulky they were,
Yes.
huge. And then they moved to microchips, right? And they were able to
Mm-hmm.
actually put them into a smaller area.
Smaller, yeah.
And yeah, and then when the personal computer came out, Mac was the first one to come out with the personal computer, and then Windows
Mm.
followed with that with theirs. Well, actually, no, it was more like the operating system. But yeah, Mac. I remember the Macs. We were talking about that before we started recording. How you could play on the
Colorful
Mac.
they are, yeah.
Yeah, it started with Oregon Trail, and then it was those were plain. I remember those computers were plain. They had the handle on the back, but then you're right. They got to the colorful ones after that,
I
and
love the colorful
yeah,
one.
I
My
did too.
goodness.
And I
They are
remember at that
fancy.
same time as when they came out with the MacBook, and they had the colorful versions of those too. I don't even remember that. So they had the Mac computer with those different colors like orange, red, purple, blue,
Mm-hmm.
green, and then they had that's the same at the same time. It might have been the same year that they came out with the MacBook, and
Mm-hmm.
it's had the same shell with the colorful translucent look to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I
pretty
use
neat.
Yeah, I usually watch this program of Macintosh where they are talking about all the programs, their new hardware and everything, which is I don't know what he's talking about because at that time I don't know what is what computer you need
Mm,
because at that time
mhm.
Microsoft Office are more popular than Mac, right?
Right.
To tell you the truth, 80s,
Yeah, Windows
90s
based. Mm-hmm.
micro base are more popular than Mac. Now
I would
I think,
agree.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think now I think it's still Microsoft is still the
More
lead.
popular.
Yeah, more
Yeah, and you've
popular.
got all the Windows based computers like Dell and all of that. And so I mean, it's amazing. Like for example, Dell computers, that was started by a gentleman that and loved technology, and he and his wife
Mm-hmm.
started that, and now they were able to they've actually given so much in philanthropy. It's amazing because it started from a small little computer company, and now it's grown, and it's amazing.
Fast. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Only thing if Dell make their own software and not copyrighted with Microsoft, I think they can become more like Mac. Don't you
I th-
think?
I think so too. Yeah, I
Mm.
think that would be helpful. Yeah, because I think if you rely on one system, remember, I think it was yeah, it was last year. Remember when there was that huge problem with Microsoft all over the world and it shut down things?
True.
Yeah.
It
And at
affected
work
totally.
we couldn't open our email, we couldn't really do anything. We were stuck. And so if a company relies on tools like that, like Microsoft software, and then it decides to just crash
Mm-mm.
on you, you're stuck. Or what we've had happen too is it'll go and make those software updates, and then I get people on my team all the time that'll be on the chat like, "Are you having problems with Microsoft Word? Are you having problems with Teams or with Outlook?" And so I haven't had the problems that they have, but they're like, "Yeah, it's acting glitchy," and I'm like, "Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness." So
And
it's hard. Yeah.
yes, it's hard to, and it's easy to make virus on Microsoft because of the
Hmm.
word C++, and it's easy to distribute viruses, and then okay, you need to get this antivirus, and
Oh,
then
right.
they earn lots of money. They create a virus, and then and they will make antivirus. Okay, you need to buy this antivirus to clean your virus.
To clean
Imagine.
your computer. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that one that's out there that they've called the Trojan horse before. So you go to
Yes.
open up something and then
It
it
would just
infiltrates your whole system. Yep.
become
That's not fun.
slower.
I've had
Mm-mm.
that happen before with a Windows computer, and
Mm-mm.
yeah, I had to end up. I At the time they had remember CompUSA, Daniel, the computer
Mm-hmm.
store. You could actually
Mm-hmm.
take your computer in there if you needed. It was a great service. I loved it. I think Office Max has it now, or Office Depot, but CompUSA here in the United States is no longer around. But I actually had to do that. I had to take my laptop
PC.
computer in. Yep, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what's going on? It's so slow. And then the tech guy looked at it and he's like, yep, you got a
With
virus. And I was like,
Trojan
oh
virus.
no. I'm like, great. Now what do I do? And he's like, well, the best thing to do you have backups of everything? I'm like, yes, I've got backups. He's like, good, smart thing. But he's like, we're just going to have to wipe out the whole entire system and just reinstall it. Okay, do what you have to do. Yep. So I know
Yes.
what you mean. But
Mm-hmm.
My Mac is never. I have a Mac laptop and a MacBook Pro, and I've never had a virus on it. Never had
True.
problems. Yep. So
Because
I
it's
agree.
hard to make virus on Mac,
Yeah, for
and
some reason I don't know why.
the
If they
language is different
Is it the
from Visual.
language?
Yeah,
Mm.
Visual C++, plus plus, which is
Ah,
what that's Steve just want. I want to be unique. Yeah.
right. It makes
I
a
want to be
difference.
different. Yeah, think differently, as Steve just talking about, right? The late
Right.
Steve Jobs. Well,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you,
Hmm.
thank you. And I highly recommended people Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. It's something good. And I want to promote my book 101 review, people. Please do listen wherever you listen your podcast. And having my sixth season this year, I'm so proud because,
Woo-hoo.
well, I belong now to 1.5 popular show globally. So thank you so much for supporting Book 101 review
Woo.
and hoping this year I'll be 1%, which is I'm aiming for.
Yeah, that deserves applause there. That's great.
Yes, applause. Yes, thank you. I think Miss Jackie, you were my guest over there.
Yes,
Book
that
101
was the
review.
yep. Hmm. That was the
You
first
kept
one I was a guest on, and then it just
went
kept
and
going and
went and
going.
went. Yes. Miss
Yeah.
Jackie and I met on Padmas being a guest. And then I said, I think this one will be a good co host. And I said, yes. It's truly a good co-host, Miss Jackie. I said, let's do Tech 101. Let's do AI 101. Let's do Misters 101. That's what I like to a partner. Convince me to do something more and more and more because you are building our legacy to the world.
Right. Yeah,
Mm.
that's true.
Well, and people were talking about early computers when machines filled the room, but especially 80s, 90s, and
Hmm.
what else? 60s. 60s or more. Big, big, big.
Yes, the big. Yeah, I remember they had something on. oh, what was it? I don't know if it was VH1. It was, they had this whole series of like then and now, and one of
Mm-hmm.
them was about computers, right, and technology and how it's changed. It was very interesting to see, even see Steve Jobs, and when they, like you were talking about with the Mac and when he created that, and then just all the Apple products that kept following with it
Mm-hmm.
and the computers and everything. So yeah, it's very interesting how it's changed. I remember even when it was such a leap to go from the DOS system. Do you remember the DOS system with the
Yes.
green and the black? And then we
Mm-hmm.
got to Windows 95. I was in high school when Windows 95 came out. And I was just so excited. I was like, I've got my own computer. I've got Windows 95. And I remember AOL with
Oh
"You've
my
got
goodness,
mail."
yeah.
But it was really funny because my printer even was like, it was a DOS printer. So you had to load it with those little holes. And then you had to, you had to take off it was all perforated on the end, and you had to just take that off before you could. And I would have some of my friends that would turn in their papers with that still on there with the little holes on either side. It's like, you're supposed to take that off so it looks more presentable. But yeah, it was really funny because yeah, it just, the computers have changed so much, and we were just so excited we got Windows 95. We thought this is the best thing ever, right? And look at how many iterations that
Mm-hmm.
we've had of
True.
that. Yep.
We are so happy for that time. I said, "Oh my goodness, you put the DOS first, and then make sure that the blink, 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 blink is coming.
Right.
Then you put again
Exactly.
the Word, or Excel, or what else? The other one, Word,
Oh
Excel.
yeah.
I think one more. I
PowerPoint. There's
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. Yep. I remember when those first came out. Do you remember in the Word, or in the Microsoft products when they had the little paperclip helper? I
Mm-hmm.
forget
Yes.
what they
Oh
called
yes.
him.
Windows. I think Windows point 3.1 or something.
3.1, yes, and they had
Yes.
the little, I don't remember what they called him. He was the little paper clip guy, and he would
Assistant.
pop up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he would pop up. Do you need help with the? And people got annoyed with that after a while. I know I did. I was like, can this little thing just go away? Because it would distract you, and I'd be trying to
Mhm.
work on a paper, and it would pop up, and I'm like, go away. And it was funny because the other day at work, some of my colleagues and I were like, remember this little guy? And we're like, oh, don't remind me. And we're like, what if they brought him back? And I'm like, oh my goodness, I think people would scream if they did. And stuff like
N-
that. It
n-
was funny.
Nowadays, we don't need all those stuff. It's automatically it's there. You just click, 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 getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Right. It's
Even
amazing.
our what phones, they're getting smaller and smaller, smaller before it's like a bricks.
Right.
Mm.
And I remember when the software, when it was out of date, you had to actually go out and buy it. You had to buy the box, right? With
Oh my
the
goodness,
with the
yes.
disc, and you had to put the disc in there to be able to install it. And now you don't have to do that anymore. Now it's all digital. So we've come a long
Mm.
way with computers and stuff like that. And everything, we don't, and we think about personal computers, but computers now are part of everything, right? Computing is in
Mm.
everything. So even your phone has a computer chip in it, and things like that. So yeah, it's amazing how even with music, I remember, what was that thing that Mac, or that Apple came out with? It was the
iTunes.
iTunes, yeah, and then they
Yeah.
had the little music player. I would
Mm-hmm.
have one for work so I could listen to my music while I was at
Mm-hmm.
work doing my
Yes.
stuff. Hmm.
I
But
remember when the first time I purchased my first MP3, I was so happy. Oh my goodness.
hmm
1,000 songs in one just small thing. And then, oh my goodness. Not just like
yes,
comparing to CDs, tapes, what else? Which
right.
is
The Walkman. Remember the
Walkman.
Walkman? Oh my goodness. Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, and then remember when they first came out with that the one for the Apple, what was it called? It wasn't iPad. No, what was it called? The one for the music. Ah,
Mm.
shoot, I can't remember the name of
Mus-
it, but I can
mu-
picture it. Yeah, yeah,
mhm.
but remember how big it was, and then you could only fit so many songs on there, and then you had to be like, oh, okay, well, I have to pick and choose. Do I want to put more songs on here, or do I want to keep what I have? Because it only gave you so much room, and then it gave you that warning, like you're almost out of space. So it's funny. Now we don't have to
Yes.
worry about that anymore because it's all digital
No.
now. Yep.
Yes, it's all digital, even music, movies. What else to be next to be digital?
Right. Yeah. So it's not just about storing it on a computer anymore, right? So
Mm,
yeah, it's hard to imagine how far we've come with computers and technology in general. Yep. It's amazing.
yes. Before we have a Betamax. What else? Betamax. What else? The other one, which is then becomes CD. Now become cable, and then becomes streaming platform.
Right.
See,
Hmm.
those are the generations that we say that we are glad we witnessed all those evolution.
Right.
And thank God we have a podcast that we will talk about, and then for sure our generation to generation will learn from this podcast for sure that this is the evolution of technology.
Right. Right.
So we need to celebrate those milestones, don't you think, Miss Jackie?
Absolutely. I think that's important. Uh keeps us motivated, keeps us going. Yeah. I
Mm.
like that.
We are so excited, people. What will be the next of our technology 101? Who knows, someday, even we are no longer around, I hope people will discover the teleportation. That'd be awesome, right?
Oh, wow. That would be, yep. Kind of like that Wall-E movie, that Disney movie where
Mm. Wally!
I just love that. Didn't quite work
Yes.
out as they were planning, right? They thought that the
Mm.
robots were going to clean up all the
Mess.
everything on the earth, and then they just, it reminded me of like a cruise ship in space is what that movie reminded me of. But nobody wanted to do anything. They just wanted to sit in their little, chairs and just have it go around, and yeah, so
Hmm. I
but
think at
yeah,
that
it's funny.
year, I think that year, the Earth is already a garbage bin like that, right? And
Yeah,
then
yes.
Wall-E is the one who will clean everything. If
Hmm.
I'm not mistaken, is that the concept of the movie?
It is, yeah. And it's funny because in the movie we know that he's the only one that actually is still working. All the other Wallies are they ended up breaking, right? They broke down. So, and I think that's the thing is they just decided, all the humans decide, let's just leave Earth and let the technology do the work. And what they didn't realize is that all of them broke down except for one. So,
Yes.
yep.
Remind me, I think Wally get in love to where? To whom?
Yeah, it was, her name was Eva.
Eva, yes.
Yeah, I like the way he said
Eva!
her name. He's like, Eve.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, and he was,
It's
yeah, he was.
amazing. I think it
Hmm.
was produced by Pixar at that
Yes,
time.
Disney Pixar. Yep, you're right.
Which
Yeah,
is Steve Jobs doing it at that
er,
time,
yeah,
managing, if I'm not
right.
mistaken. That's a
Hmm.
legacy of Steve Jobs. When
Yeah.
when he was being cancelled, cancelled, rejected as the CEO of Apple, right?
Hmm.
Yes, I
Yeah.
read the book by Walter Isaacson. That's the time he was fired by the board of members of Apple, and then he revealed another company which is Pixar. And then after that, Pixar became boom. Apple bought it, I think, if I'm not mistaken. See the transformation
Hmm.
from being the CEO, and then you fired, and then pivot, and then he pivot, he built again another big company, and then Apple hire him again, which is the CEO.
Right.
Then he bought the new company, which is Pixar, got together with Apple, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a
Or it
long
might be
time.
Dis. I think you're right, but I don't know if Disney bought them out later on. Not sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe Apple does still have it. Yeah.
But anyway, that's life, people. We are talking about early computers when machines filled the room. So, from year that we remember those gadgets like
Hmm.
Apple gadgets, smartphones. What else we can recall, Miss Jackie?
Mm. Yeah. Oh, I remember too. Before the smartphones came around, we had pagers. When I was in high
Oh,
school, I had a
pagers.
pager,
Yes.
and then you
Yes.
know someone would page you, and you'd have to go find a phone to call somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, to call them back. So
Now
I thought
obsolete.
that was the coolest thing in the world because so
True.
my
Oh
friends
my
had it, and
gosh.
I remember my dad had one too, my stepdad, because he worked for Avis Rent a Car, and so he
Mm-hmm.
was always out
Pager.
at the airport, so he needed a pager, right? And then but he'd have
Mm-hmm.
to still go and find a phone to call somebody back. So it was funny because I was like, "Oh, I want a pager," and little did I realize that, oh, I've got to have change for the payphone or find a public phone, right, that I can use for free. So the kids of today, or even the ones that are in college or younger than
They don't
us,
know.
they don't know what a
No
pager is.
pager. Yes,
Yeah,
pager. I think it's the modernized telegraph,
I
right?
think so. I agree. Yep,
Uh,
exactly.
it so
Yep.
happens that if pager have the capability like phone, a cell phone, I think it's still here right now, right?
Right. I think so. Yeah, because when the pager kind of started, it was still around. I remember, and then the phones were like really heavy, really big, and then they did the flip phone. Right, you could text, but it was so hard to text because you had to go ABC and then one, two, and you had to press it like so many times. You only had nine, however many keys to work with on there, so it was so complicated. Those flip phones were, yeah, they weren't the best. That's for sure. And it was such a small screen. Remember how small the screen was and how small the buttons were, and you're just like trying to text and you're like, forget it, I'm just going to call somebody. But now you don't, kids today, they don't want to call, they'd rather text. So it's
Yes,
funny.
Virtual Brat said, "Love it. The first pages only beep with one tone." True, right?
Hmm. Right.
It beep. They come with two tone pagers and then text pagers. It's true. Those are the
Yes.
memories.
Oh, and then remember too the BlackBerry, how popular that was when it came out.
Oh yes, QWERTY,
Yes.
QWERTY.
Yes. Yep, I
And
remember
Nokia,
those. Yeah, and then
Nokia.
Nokia. Yep. They came out with
Mm,
the first flip phone. Yep, exactly. And then now we've got the smartphone, so it's amazing how much has
yeah.
changed. But they do have one out there. I don't remember if it is Nokia or another brand, but they do have one that's a smartphone, but it also is a flip phone. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
unfold it and do all kinds of. And
Mot-
I'm like, oh, it kind of seems like a version of a flip phone, but except,
Samsung,
yeah. Oh, that's what it is.
Motorola,
Samsung. Yeah.
Samsung, right?
Yep. I think so. Yep. Yep.
I remember the history of Nokia. That's why they failed because one of the CEO suggests that we need to adopt smartphone, and they said
Mm.
no, a smartphone is not that. It will not the future of our generation, and boom, when Steve Jobs or the late Steve Jobs introduced smartphone with the iPhone, now they dead.
Right.
It's if they adapt the word smartphone to Nokia or whatever the other one, Nokia and QWERTY, the QWERTY phone, which is from Canada. Uh,
Oh, I've heard of that one. Yeah, I heard of that one.
yes,
Yep.
they did not adapt the word smartphone, so sad to say they bankrupt.
Hmm. That's kind
They
of
are not
sad.
they are not futuristic.
And is
Mm.
Motorola still around with theirs, or are they gone now? I
I
thought they
think
were
they're
coming
gone.
back, but I think they're gone still. Yeah, it's
Mm,
interesting. Yeah.
mm.
Wow. But
Motorola.
the most popular computers, the Mac and also the Windows base, those are still around. But I think,
Yes.
I agree with you. I think, but then there's some of the Windows based computer companies that have kind of gone under a little bit. So that's why I think Mac has endured. I agree with you. I think Apple has endured for many
Long time.
reasons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for a long
They
time.
embrace the future.
Yes. It's
Mm.
funny though. I have a former coworker of mine, and we worked for a while at a university, higher education, in higher education, and then he went to some different Fortune 500 companies, and he worked as a trainer, then as an instructional designer, and he got to work at Apple in their training and development department. And he was thinking when he got there, this is going to be great because they're always up on technology and everything, right? Keeping up with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he got there, they were so outdated with their technology for training and everything to actually create the training. And so he had to convince them to, let's at least get this and that. And they just didn't want to invest in being able to create good training for their employees. So I thought that was really strange. I was like, okay, that's interesting. So I got a little bit of
Mm.
insider tip on that. And I was like, interesting. But yet their technology and all their stores is like up on the up and up, right? And the latest and greatest. But inside, it's like, oh, hopefully they improved it since then. So I was like, wow, that's
Totally.
interesting.
Yeah, totally improve. You know what? We are so excited, Miss Jackie, when Windows 95 will bring a new logo. It's like Windows 95, like Windows 3.1, and then after that, Windows 95 or 94. I don't know, but you can see the logo, right? Every year they change it,
Yep.
from fluffy to 3.1 to Windows 94 or 95, and then
It's
it will
95. Yep.
evolve.
And then it was Windows 98 and then it was Windows 2000. I can kind
Mm.
of remember, yeah, and then it was and then they went to the numbers. So now I think we're at 11, Windows 11. But Mac, I don't know. I'm trying to remember the operating system for Mac that they have because they had like Snow Leopard, right? And I don't remember what it is now. I don't keep up as much. I'm not on my Mac as much, but when I am on it, I really like using it. So
I
yeah,
love Mac.
I
Yeah,
do
I
too.
love Mac. Just like
Yeah,
Virtual Brat said, once you go Mac, it's definitely a better system. I think
absolutely.
Virtual Brat is good for a guest, right? I'm
There
inviting
you
you
go.
to please do come over. Tech
Come on.
101, Virtual Brats, and let's talk about something good on Tech 101.
I think that would be great. Yeah,
That will
maybe
be
we could.
great. Miss
Yeah,
Jackie and I
because
will accommodate you.
yes, because
Mm.
next week we're going to talk about the internet. So and how the internet has
Internet, so
evolved.
exciting! Internet, from dialing the modem. Grr, grr, grr.
And
Oh,
only
those
being able to be
days.
on for a certain
Yeah,
time, and now we're always
yes.
on, right?
Always, my goodness, those were the days, my friend, where you're
Yes.
fighting for internet because there's a party line.
I remember that. Yep.
Oh my goodness. You will disconnect it once you, well, have a call and, well, answer the call and you're surfing the net and you're
I would make
using
sure to
Netscape.
always save my work. Yes, I would make sure to save my work because you just never knew. But thankfully, I mean, you could write a paper and not have to be online, because you could have Word and not have to be online. But other things, yeah, you had to make sure that you knew where you were, saved your work because
Mm, save
all of a
your
sudden you
work.
get kicked off and you're like, why is the page blank? What happened? And
You're
then,
typing, you're typing and typing and typing, and then suddenly, what? It black out. So, oh my goodness! And you are what,
yeah,
screaming to death because
yep.
you did
My mom would
save.
do that. Exactly. You didn't save. Yeah. And my mom and I lived in a townhouse and it was a two-story townhouse. So I'd be up in my room working on my stuff in college, right? When we had dial up. And then my mom would be downstairs and she didn't know I was doing that. And so we had to have a system where she wouldn't pick up the phone and disconnect because then, or she would try to do that and she'd be like, Jackie, are you on the computer? And I'm like, yes, I'm on the computer. I'm on the internet. So yeah, or I tried to get on the internet and it wouldn't let me because she was on the phone. So yeah, you had to get a second. Sometimes people got second lines so that they could
Hmm.
actually do that and not have to worry about, especially if you had kids, right? That was
Yes.
challenging.
Yes. And they always said, control us every 10 minutes.
Right. Exactly.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Control us because once it wipe out, well, sad to say, you will cry because what? You did 10 pages of Word, and then you just type and you did not control us. My
Yeah. And
goodness.
also too, when they first came out with like the Xbox and all those other gaming platforms and consoles,
Mm-hmm,
remember when
mm-hmm,
you had
mm.
to be on the internet to play those
Yes.
games? And then
Yes.
if you could get kicked off and you'd be like, oh no, I'm like one level away from doing this or that. Yeah. I actually heard some kids down the street that went, no, "No," really loud, and I was like, "Uh-oh, they got kicked off." Yep.
And virtual lab rat said, I started with a 300 baud modem.
Oh, I remember that.
You
I remember
remember?
that modem. Yes, and
That
they
is
were
that's so
so
noisy,
big. They were so
big
big and
and
noisy and
noisy.
heavy. Yep.
Oh my goodness!
Yep.
Imagine dialing and then you cannot connect the one you connecting. It's so
And the
frustrating.
wires were so huge. And
Mm.
then when remember when they came out with, yeah, we'll talk about this next time, with the internet. Yeah,
Yes,
because they
next
did.
time.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yep, we're
Tune in,
teasing.
people. Tune in, people, next week. And hoping we have a great Valentine's Day and wishing you all the best. So, Miss Jackie, would you like to plug in something?
Sure. So, if all of our listeners and viewers want to learn more about education and they want to learn more about instructional design and what's that all about, they can
Mm,
head over and search for Designing with Love, which is my podcast, and listen wherever podcasts platforms you go
yes.
on, and then they can connect with me on LinkedIn if they are curious and they want to learn more about what I do every day.
Yes, and thank you, Virtual Lab Rats, for participating to our discussion. Please do come
Yes,
over and be our guest. That'd be
absolutely.
awesome.
I would love
Let
that.
me know when you are available, and we will book you. Who knows? You will be our regular guest.
We'll feature you, and then yeah, you never know.
Yes. Let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about internet next week. So please do come over. And again, thank you for participating. Even not only on Tech 101, Virtual Rats always participating in all my interviews from Book 101 Review, Food 101. And thank you so much for your support. So, Miss Jackie, did you plug in something already?
I
Yes.
did. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Please, people, support our 5 podcasts with Miss Jackie. We have Tech 101, AI 101. We have what do you call that? That's Coaching 101, which is already published our first episode with Miss Karen. And today I will publish with Miss Jackie. Please do listen wherever you listen your podcast. Coaching 101, Bible versus 101, which is available wherever you listen your podcast. And of course, last but not the least, Miss Jackie, what is what we are brewing right now?
It's called Mystery Stories 101. So if you've always loved mysteries and been a mystery buff like me since you were a kid, I think you'll like it.
You will like it, people. From now on, we will not do it this time because we are brewing something. We need to make sure that our second episode will be better than our first episode. As
It
they
was an
said,
experiment.
yes, experiment.
We had to try it, see how it would go. But yeah, we're gonna
Yes.
improve it. Yep.
Try and try until you succeed, people,
Yes.
and experiment. What is better, you need to execute. So, Miss Jackie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for joining us and keep learning.
More to come, people. See you soon.